The big German Shepherd was strong, intelligent, and bred from a long line of police dogs, but no matter what the trainers did, he just couldn't pass a single drill. He froze during searches, refused to obey basic commands, and panicked whenever the whistle blew. Day after day, the other dogs excelled, while Rex stood apart, trembling and confused. The officers started whispering behind the trainer's back. "He's useless. Maybe he's broken. They should just release him." But what no one knew was that Rex wasn't broken. He was just lost. At the same time, across town, a single dad named Daniel Harper was trying to hold his own life together. Daniel had been a firefighter before a tragic accident left him with a permanent limp. Worse, he'd lost his wife, Emily, in that same fire. Now it was just him and his 8-year-old son, Liam, trying to make sense of life without her warmth. Every morning Daniel dropped Liam off at school and then limped his way to the local police training center, where he'd recently taken a job doing maintenance work. It wasn't glamorous. He fixed fences, replaced bulbs, cleaned kennels, but it was something to keep food on the table and his mind off the grief. And that's where he first saw Rex. The shepherd sat alone in his pen, staring at the ground, while the other canines barked and wagged their tails at their handlers. There was something in Rex's eyes Daniel recognized immediately, the same emptiness that lived in his own. One rainy afternoon, Daniel lingered by Rex's pen after his shift. "Hey, buddy," he said softly, kneeling down despite the pain in his knee. "Rough day?" Rex didn't move. He just flicked an ear and looked at Daniel. "I know the feeling," Daniel sighed. He pulled out a small silver whistle from his pocket, a keepsake from his firefighting days. "Used to help me calm the rescue dogs after a call. Don't suppose it'll do any good now, huh?" He blew the whistle just once. What happened next left him frozen. Rex's ears shot up. He stood, tail still but eyes alive. Then, to Daniel's amazement, the dog walked right to the edge of the pen and pressed his nose against the bars. "Would you look at that?" Daniel murmured. "You do like the sound." The next morning, when the trainers tried to work with Rex again, he wouldn't budge. But the moment Daniel passed by with his whistle hanging from his neck, Rex perked up. One of the trainers, Officer Miller, noticed. "Hey, Dan. That dog just moved for you." Daniel shrugged. "Guess he just likes my cologne." But Miller wasn't laughing. "You mind coming inside the ring for a minute?" Daniel hesitated. "I'm not a trainer." "Doesn't matter. Just humor me." So Daniel stepped in, unsure what he was doing. Miller handed him the command baton and told him to try a basic sit. Daniel looked at Rex. "All right, buddy. Sit." Nothing. Then Daniel remembered the whistle. He gave a single sharp blow, and Rex dropped into a perfect sit. The entire training team froze. "Try stay," someone whispered. Daniel did, and again, Rex obeyed instantly. It was as if the two of them had known each other for years. From that day on, Daniel was unofficially added to the K9 training roster. Every afternoon after his maintenance shift, he worked with Rex. He didn't follow strict police commands, he just talked. He told Rex stories about Emily, about how much Liam missed his mom, about how hard it was pretending to be strong. And Rex listened. He didn't flinch at the whistle anymore. In fact, he seemed to move with purpose whenever he heard it, as if the sound reminded him of something safe, something human. Bit by bit, Rex transformed. He started passing drills, obedience search, scent tracking. The trainers were astonished. "Whatever you're doing, Harper, keep doing it," Miller said one day. "This dog's turning into a star." But Daniel knew the truth, it wasn't training. It was connection. Both of them were healing together. Then came the ultimate test. Rex was chosen for a high-pressure certification exercise simulating a hostage rescue. Dozens of officers watched as Rex was sent to locate and alert the team to a hidden suspect. Everything went perfectly until a loud explosion sound from a nearby drill echoed through the lot. The noise triggered something deep in Rex. He froze, whimpered, and backed away, eyes wide in terror. The trainer tried yelling commands. Nothing worked. The test was seconds from being called off then, from the edge of the field, Daniel limped forward. "Let me try." He lifted the silver whistle and blew once. The sharp, steady sound cut through the chaos. Rex's ears flicked. His body stilled. Then, slowly, he turned toward Daniel. "Go, boy," Daniel said, voice trembling. "You've got this." Rex charged forward, nose to the ground, tail steady, and within seconds found the suspect. The crowd erupted in cheers. Rex had passed perfectly. And that single whistle had done what months of training couldn't. After the test, the chief approached Daniel. "Harper, you ever considered joining our K9 unit? I think we've got a spot that fits you and Rex both." Daniel smiled for the first time in a long while. "You'd really let a washed-up firefighter and a failed dog be partners?" The chief grinned. "You're not washed up. You're exactly what this team needs." Months later, Rex and Daniel became a legend in their town. They worked side by side, saving lives, helping search and rescue teams, even visiting schools to show what trust and second chances can do. And every time someone asked how he trained Rex, Daniel just smiled and said, "He trained me, too." Rex had taught him that healing doesn't always come from people, it can come from connection, from faith, from a simple act of trust. And every night, when Daniel tucked Liam into bed and hung the silver whistle by the door, he'd whisper a silent thank you to the dog who found his way busy.